Good morning and happy Friday. What a picture perfect weekend we have facing us this beautiful weekend in the Tennessee Valley. It's been kind of a long week for me, so I think I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied this morning. But if you are watching and you have plans tonight to head out to the high school football game, maybe you're going to be watching the pennant races for your team, whether it's you're rooting for the Red Sox, the Astros, the Dodgers, or the Braves. How about that for my sports knowledge this morning? Make sure that you keep your noise in check. Dr. Tiffany Ahlberg kicks off the show with us this morning. She, of course, is with Ahlberg Audiology up in Bradley County. Good to see you this morning, Tiffany.
Good to see you too, Julie. Thank you for having me.
I asked you, I know both of us have teenagers at home, and I had said, do you have one of your children in the band? And you said, no, your son plays football, but you've been hearing that band.
Oh, yeah, and it is loud. It is just one of the different environments that I have been around lately where I am shocked that we put our kids in that situation without hearing protection. And maybe some of the kids do, and good for them. But if your kid plays in those marching bands, I did some research just to see how loud are they, because I had my fingers in my ears, and not because they weren't good, because they were very good. But it's just so loud. It's so damaging to our ears. And it can reach a level of 130 dB. And that can cause hearing loss in a matter of seconds.
So, okay, go back though, you and me, while we're talking, let's go back to high school when we were the kids in the bleachers cheering on for the team and listening to the band play. We probably didn't think it was all that loud.
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember it being that loud. Now they have like the big speakers in the middle of the field, and maybe they had them when we were there, and we just were ignorant back then. I have no idea. And maybe I'm more aware now because I'm an audiologist, but it is damaging loud. It is, put your fingers in your ears and like just protect what you have if you don't have hearing protection. Wow.
Okay, so I think you just said the magic word then. I was not thinking about the speakers on the field. I was thinking just about the instruments themselves. But it's once again this technology that can be great, but it can play with our lives in a way it's not meant to. Kids have got those earbuds, their Apple earphone things. I can't speak this morning, but you know what I'm talking about, where the volume
I know
is
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and those are loud, and that is a concern. And I was just looking at the statistics, and 1 in 5 people from the age of 20 to 69 have a hearing loss. So 1 in 5, and 1 in 4 people from the age of 20 to 29 have the beginning stages of a noise-induced hearing loss. That is so incredibly high. I did not realize that it was that high, but hearing loss happens so gradually. And I was just thinking about it this morning. I thought, we wouldn't send our kids out to look at the sun without wearing glasses. We wouldn't send them out to watch the eclipse without having those special glasses. But yet we send our kids out to concerts and bands, and we went to a rodeo a couple weeks ago, and the speaker there, my kids, they were commenting on how their ears were ringing afterwards. It was so loud. I didn't bring hearing protection to a rodeo. I had never been to a rodeo before. It was fun, but it was so loud because of that speaker. We shooting guns, hunting, all of these different things that we want to take our kids to be part of, and it is a great time, that you spend with your kids, and they enjoy all these things, but we have got to be better at protecting our kids from hearing loss.
Even going to the movies, I remember, I think maybe it might have gotten a little bit better, but when they used to have all that, I guess it's the bass sound that they have in the sound system there, and it's painful. It is painful.
It is.
So what do you do though, Tiffany? Because you can't go changing the world. So what do you do?
Well, first of all, make your kids realize that hearing loss can happen. I mean, it's not something, because it happens so gradually. I think people think that that it's not going to happen to them. It happens gradually. If your ears ring, if you feel like your ears are full after you've been around a lot of noise, you have damaged your ears. That's number one. Number two, that earplugs are not uncool. Unless someone, desires to wear hearing aids one day, protect your ears now, because it's inevitable. If you're around these situations, you're going to develop hearing loss. So protect what you have. There are so many different, and so, then you'll get some kickback. Well, if I wear earplugs, it changes the way music sounds, and it does. So that is true. So they make a musician earplug. So you can get a special earplug with a filter. You can get them non-custom, which are less expensive, or you can get a custom mold. And so the custom ones are form-fitted for that particular person's ear, so they fit right in. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money on a custom one, then just Google musician filtered molds, and those are great for music. If you shoot guns, you hunt, they make special hearing protection that you can put in. It can amplify whenever you have them in, and the second you shoot a gun, it'll cut off and it'll protect your hearing. So there's so many different things out there that weren't available 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that we have now available to us. So let's utilize these things and protect our hearing, because it is so essential and so important.
Okay.
And it happens so fast.
2 questions. With the musicians ones, is that even if you just enjoy listening to music, not if you are yourself a musician?
Yes. I mean, my husband and I enjoy going to concerts. I have a pair of musician plugs that I always take with me, and I put them in my pocket and I put them in. You don't even see them. They're not the big, bright yellow, orange earplugs like you see when you're in an industrial setting. Mine are form-fitted for my ear with a special little filter that attenuates the sound. So yeah, even if you just enjoy listening to music, they're a great thing to have.
And once you make the investment, it's yours for a lifetime, because your ear does not change, right?
Your ear can change a little bit, but yeah, I've had mine for over 10 years, and they still fit great.
Okay, then the other question, you mentioned how you'll take them with you to the concert. I guess if you have these ear plugs, whether they're the custom ones or not, if you just keep them with you, if you're going to a football game or a concert or whatever, you might not know that the noise is going to be the issue if it comes. So now you've got the ear plugs on the ready.
Yes, I always have a pair. And I have been in situations like that rodeo. I didn't take earplugs with me. So I went and got a paper towel and I squished them together and put them in my ears, just because I knew that I was going to damage my hearing. So whatever you can do to protect your ears, please do it, because it only takes one time. You have no idea how many times I have people come in my office and they will say, I have shot guns my whole life, but this one time I shot a gun and afterwards I couldn't hear. It only takes one time. And when you're dealing with something that's that loud, 130, 140 dB, it may not happen until it does. And then when it does, it's too late. You've damaged your hearing.
I will not know the right terminology to use, so just forgive me up front, and maybe you do. We're on the cusp of Christmas, and people are going to be asking teenagers for presents, and a lot of times, young boys especially will ask for speaker systems for their cars. Do you have to be a little bit careful about what type of speaker you've got your kids listening to in the car?
I don't know that you necessarily have to worry about the speaker. But you do have to worry about how loud your kid turns it up. I have no idea what these speakers are that you hear going down the road. But if you can hear it from outside the car, then it's too loud. Is
it true that boom, boom bass sound that you hear is the real culprit?
So anytime that you have vibration with a sound, you not only get the sound traveling through your ears, but you also get it traveling through your whole body. So it can add even more volume to an already loud situation. So it's not necessarily the culprit, but it doesn't help that the vibration is there too. So it adds to the volume, definitely.
I think it's good that I asked you those questions, because then you were honest, and that means that if parents are talking to their kids over the weekend and they say the bass is the problem, and the teenager comes back and says, no, Mom and Dad, you're wrong, they can reference you for their answer. It's just you want to be smart with it and not turn it up too loud.
If you worry, there are free apps that are sound level meters. So just look at the sound level meter, and it will tell you the average. And that's what matters, the average, the volume over a period of time. So, not necessarily the frequency.
Okay, you wanted to bring this to our attention because October is Hearing Awareness Month. I know you said that these musicians and hunters' earphones, earplugs are not that visible. If you are somebody needing some hearing devices to correct a hearing loss, even that has come a long way. It's not what it used to be.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there is a earplug for every situation, whether you work in a factory, whether you fly and the noise from the airplane, or if you're a musician, a hunter, whatever, a dentist, any situation that you're in, there's a plug
All
for
right.
that
Well,
situation.
I'll plug you, Dr. Tiffany Ahlberg with Ahlberg Audiology. You can find her in Cleveland on North Ocoee Street. Her phone number is 641-0956, and online it's ahlbergaudiology.com.
When your family gathers